So yesterday was a crazy day for the Knicks guys because we got two reports, one saying that there was mutual interest between Kevin Durant and us at the trade deadline and the Knicks sent an offer, and then another report, which was even crazier, is that the Knicks are going all out for Giannis this summer. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say that the Knicks don't have what it takes to trade for Giannis, and in theory, they're right. Only one tradable first. Cat is the best they could offer. I mean, would the Bucks take OG? I don't think so. They'd rather have draft compensation and, of course, younger players. I mean, how do you exactly do you trade Giannis and then build around an OG Anunoby and like a Mitchell Robinson? So that doesn't make any sense. But I think what will actually happen if Giannis is traded, I don't think Giannis will be traded, but if he does end up getting traded, he's going to stay in the East. He's not going to go out West. That was already reported. But then you have to look at the options. As you go to Boston, they don't have the financial flexibility to bring in Giannis. They're already trying to save some money right now, so that doesn't make sense. And like the Pistons, I mean, does that give Giannis the best chance to win? I think the one team in the East, I think the one team in general that actually makes sense for Giannis is New York, because he'd have Jalen Brunson, so he'd have another superstar with him. And then he also would be playing in a huge market. And even more importantly than that, is it would help his legacy. If Giannis comes to the Knicks and wins them a championship, I mean, maybe I'm tripping, let me know. I think I might be tripping for saying this, but I even go as far as saying that Giannis is a top 10 player of all time. The Knicks haven't won championship in over 50 years. If he comes and ends that, and of course, if the Knicks do win the championship, Giannis is going to be Finals MVP. Probably going to be MVP in general, just what he would do in the regular season, and come playoff time, no more Tibbs, so it's not like he's going to be run through the ground. I mean, he would just be an absolute legend. Giannis is already close to being a top 10 player. I mean, we're talking about him going out there and giving you 30 a night, 12 boards, 6 assists, best defensive player, in my opinion, in the league. Or maybe Wemby, I don't know. Giannis is one of the best, but he's top 3 in MVP voting every single season to this point. You could argue that he could win it every year. Like, if it wasn't for Jokic, I mean, he would certainly be making a good case for that. But this is just a no-brainer, I think, for the Knicks. But for Giannis, I mean, it would be cool if he stayed in Milwaukee his whole career, because we don't really see that nowadays. We don't see a Dirk Nowitzki. We don't see a Kobe Bryant with the Lakers, even though he was drafted by the Hornets, a Tim Duncan. We don't really see that nowadays. These guys just are on the move. So it would be cool for Giannis. But I know he wants to win. He's not winning in Milwaukee. And he's also not going to go out West and win. I mean, he could go to the Rockets, but then I mean, what do you even give up? You can give up Şengün and then or a man. Like, I just think the Knicks makes the most sense, because what the Bucks can do is they can just take Cat and then they can trade him for picks. They're gonna get a lot of picks. I mean, Cat's a 24 and 13 center who can shoot the 3-ball on elite level, and we saw, of course, in the playoffs how dominant he was. Now, before you go and say, "Oh, Cat defense," yeah, but Cat was the only Knicks starter who was actually a positive in the plus and minus against the Pacers. Everyone blames Cat, which I get, but Cat actually, the Knicks were winning his minutes when he was on the floor in that series in all 6 games. So that's something that you got to take into consideration. I don't necessarily just want to put all the blame on Cat and trade him, but I do think that Brunson and Giannis would help the Knicks win a championship, because now all of a sudden you don't have 2 guys to pick on. Defensively, teams were picking on Brunson. They were picking on Cat. The Pacers exploited that, but if Giannis is out there, well, you're not going to be able to pick on Brunson because he's got OG. Unless he's in the trade. But OG and McKay, I don't know what the Knicks would give up, but I'd imagine it would be like Cat, Tyler Kolek, and as many picks as the Knicks can possibly do, which I know is a trash trade for Giannis. But if he says, I want to be in New York, the Bucks are going to trade him to New York, and that would suck for them because the Knicks are in the same conference as the Bucks, but it would just be a total rebuild. I mean, Milwaukee was 48 and 34. I mean, they really were actually pretty solid, man. They were only, 3 games behind us? That's kind of crazy to think about. But in terms of Kevin Durant, which I do think is a more realistic pathway for the Knicks, like I said at the beginning of the video, the Knicks did have mutual interest with Kevin Durant at the trade deadline. They even made an offer. Now, an offer that I've seen being floated around, I'm not saying the Knicks offered this, it's just something that I personally think would be like decent. Now, I don't want the Knicks to do it, don't get me wrong, but it would be OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson for KD. I think that the Suns would absolutely do that because they need a center. They need defense in general. They would need a KD replacement, and then they would also get a defensive center. They 100% would do that. Before the Knicks, I mean, if this was Kevin Durant like 5 years ago, I could get around with this trade, because now all of a sudden you've got Cat, Brunson and Kevin Durant, that would be absolutely filthy. And KD's a good defender too. Everyone talks about elite offensively. KD's a very good defender, especially at protecting the basket. But again, Kevin Durant is like 37, isn't he? Or is he 38? KD is 36 years old. Okay, so I thought he was a little bit older than that. So he's 36, coming off a season where he averaged 27 a night, 52.7% from the field, and he's a good defender, like I said. I mean, I think the Knicks legitimately would have a higher ceiling with this trade, but I mean, Mitchell Robinson just absolutely dominated in the playoffs. He's also isn't Mitch like 26? So yeah, I mean, he's 10 years younger. Mitch does need a new contract, and he is going to get paid, which is something to take into consideration. But still, at least you got him for one more year on a cheap deal. So, and then OG Anunoby's making a lot of money. But you look at the playoffs, OG Anunoby had a generational type of defensive run. I don't have the number on me exactly because I don't have my phone on me. It's in my bedroom. I'm in the office right now, whatever. But in terms of OG, I mean, he did something that hadn't been done since LeBron James, like years ago, when he was with the Cavs. I mean, his defense, OG was flying around defensively. And the games where OG was scoring, given the Knicks 20 plus, they were winning. So I think OG certainly should not be moved. The Knicks defense would take a huge hit. Kevin Durant's a good defender, but he's not an OG Anunoby type of defender. Like, nobody is in this league. I mean, Mitch and OG, I mean, it sounds crazy, but KD, Brunson, and Cat would just be so good. But then you have to realize that, well, you have a even smaller window now than you did before this trade. The Knicks have a larger window, obviously, because Mitch and OG are like 10 years younger. But in terms of just flat out next season, I think that the Knicks honestly would be better. Like, I'm going to get hate for saying this. I know Knicks fans very well. They're going to get mad at me for saying this. I think if the Knicks did trade Mitch and OG for KD, legitimately, I think they'd have a better chance of winning the championship. But then you have to start talking about depth, because now you lose. I mean, well, Ariel Laporte could kind of step in and take on that role, or bring back Achua. The Knicks should not do this. It'd be ridiculous. Just given the fact of the age. I mean, you don't want to shorten your window, especially because the East is wide open. I mean, why would you just get desperate? But if the Knicks can get KD for a cheap, not even cheap, but if the Knicks can get him for a reasonable price, then we can start to have a serious discussion. It's so tough because I'd love to have Kevin Durant in New York. I know a lot of Knicks fans don't really want him in New York just because he ended up going to the Nets instead. But I think you have to put that aside. I mean, we're talking about winning a championship. We're talking about competing at a high level. And Durant would help out the Knicks so much because offensively, I mean, you have a guy in the half court that's unstoppable, can shoot the ball, can rebound, can defend, can pass. I mean, Durant is literally the perfect player for the Knicks. It's just what's going to be the cost. I mean, I wish I could know what it would cost for the Knicks to get Durant. But if they do end up making this happen, I mean, oh my God, Brunson, Durant, and Cat would be so good. It's just who's going to be around them is going to be the thing. Because you're not just going to get Kevin Durant for free with his name